Do you mind just praying for the viewers? I'm sure there's some who are watching and who do not have good relationships with their parents and who don't feel as if they have a purpose in this world. Do you mind just praying?
Everybody gonna wanna sing so loud when this thing goes out. Cause it's Christmas time, every single mouth gonna praise the king, gonna trade away the chains we bring. I've been feeling so ashamed, amazed the grace he brings. Got tripped up, got flipped on a strip, but system is ready to roll. The levers are broke, he's taking my soul. Everybody, yo.
Everybody dance and spin. Everybody dance and spin. Everybody dance and spin. It's time to sing.
Everybody gonna wanna sing so loud when this thing goes.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. My name is Alberta. Welcome to Heart with Alberta Mwimbo. This channel is all about stories, and today we're bringing you another part of It's Time to Sing, and this time it's an interview with Matthew. So stay tuned.
Everybody gonna wanna sing so loud when this thing goes out. Cause it's Christmas time, every single mouth gonna praise the king, gonna trade away the chains we bring. I've been feeling so ashamed, amazed the grace he brings. Got tripped up, got flipped on a strip, but system is ready to roll. The levers are broke, he's taking my soul. Everybody, yo.
Okay, so can you tell us who is Matthew?
A child of God, I guess, first and foremost. A musician, but an artist at heart. That's why I do video work and why I produce. It's not just being an artist. Obviously, I love to rap, but I love to sing also. I love to produce other people's stuff. I love to do video work because that's the visual side of things. I write poetry. I write book concepts. I won't say I write books because I've never finished them. So a child of God, a Christian, but also an artist. And I contribute a lot of the ways that I view the world and the ways that I interact with the world to faith and the way that I believe God has created me to mirror that creative aspect of who God is. And so whatever format I can do that in, I tend to pursue it. I don't know, it's a very broad stroke, but
No, not at all. It's very interesting. I'm mostly interested in the poetry stuff because I just thought you were more of a musical person, but now I'm hearing, so since you're writing, you also write poetry. Like, when did you?
yeah,
Wow.
really like any form of art. Like I used to act in high school too. I did like acting, like drama festivals and stuff. But yeah, in terms of poetry, I started writing poetry junior high. And then I remember, I think it was grade 10 or grade 11, I bought one of those like 300-page notebooks, and I had like a goal of I'm gonna finish this notebook, and I believe I ended up finishing 2 of those notebooks. And I've always really loved writing. I remember my first year at college, I went for record engineering, so becoming a producer. And while I was there, I was actually part of Fresh's label, so I was part of Kingdom Music, and I wrote 36 songs. Wrote and recorded 36 songs in my first year of college. Like I love writing. So whether it's poetry, whether it's songwriting, recently I'm getting into more singing. I have a band, and then I also have it's a project between me and my friend Peter. It's singing. So, but it's not really acoustic. It's kind of indie pop. Yeah. So any avenue that I can create, I will, and then start doing video work as well. Just yeah, any way that I can, like you were saying, conveying a story. It's about taking a story or a concept or an emotion or whatever it is, whatever that drive is for that piece of art that you're creating, and putting in a format that other people can really connect to and other people are excited about and are able to experience what you envision. I think that's probably one of the most frustrating things as artists. That's why you hear us sometimes we don't like what we do, and you might like it. You might be like, oh, that's really good. And we don't. And a big reason is it might be good to you because you don't know what the vision was, right? But we have this vision in our head of what we want the song to sound like or what we want this painting to look like or whatever. If it doesn't match that vision, we don't like it. But from an outside perspective, it doesn't mean that it's not good, but to us it isn't, because it's not accurately conveying what we're trying to portray for the world.
I like what you're sharing. I just want to know, since you started like acting, going to music at a very young age, does that mean that your family is musical, or is there anyone
Um,
who inspired you?
I don't know. It's kind of a funny thing because a lot of my siblings are artistic as well, but we didn't really grow up in like in a family that did music a ton. My mom says that I always gravitate towards music, that I would just perk up when she would play music, and I remember singing songs from the car or whatever. I would hear songs, and I would make up lyrics that I couldn't remember the lyrics, so I just make up lyrics. I'd remember the melody, but not the lyrics. And I remember playing piano at a young age. I honestly don't remember starting piano. I don't remember starting singing. I just remember always singing and always playing. And so it's just always been something that my mom put me in at a very young age. But even my brother likes to write, and my sister acts as well, so we all seem to gravitate to some form of artistic expression, even though my mom and my dad never really did much. My mom sings, but she wasn't part of a worship team or anything like that. It was just she has a beautiful voice and would sing around the house and stuff. So yeah, I don't know, it's a
Oh,
fascinating thing.
that's really cool. I can imagine your house is never boring.
Yeah,
All
but
these artists there.
yeah, not so much for the art, but yeah, it's definitely never boring.
Okay. So the other question is, how long have you been a Christian musician? Is that something?
Yeah, I don't know if I would label myself as a Christian musician. I would label myself as a musician that's a Christian. I think it's always been a funny concept to me, and I know there's a lot of controversy over, some people get up in arms about it. I don't really care if people want to label me that way, they can, but it's my issue with it is you wouldn't call someone a Christian plumber, right? He's a plumber that happens to be a Christian, and it should be shown in the way that he goes about his business and how he interacts with other people.
Right.
But that should be just our life statement in general.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't. The reason I'm cautious with applying that label to myself is it kind of puts you in a box. You limit your art to Christ. And even in scripture, when you read scripture and you read some of the Psalms, like it's not all focused on Christ. And in fact, some of them are even when they are focused on Christ, they're in a very offensive manner. Like there's a psalm that talks about bash the heads of the heads of the babies of my enemies, and it's like, can you picture us putting that in a worship song? No, and that's where my issue with being labeled as a Christian artist is I think Christian culture puts this box around that and doesn't allow you to be artistic with whatever inspires you. And as an artist, I might be inspired to take a video of an apple, right? Like it's just, oh, this is a beautiful apple, and I want to set up my light and get the right glare on it and things like that. Is that God focused? Is that no longer Christian art? You know what I mean? No, it's art, and so it's God's creation, and like you could look into it and be like, oh, this is, God gave me this appreciation for art, and God created this apple, and He made it beautiful, and I'm just reflecting that. Yeah, you could go super, super deep into that. But I'll tell you, like most artists, we're not thinking that deep about it. We're just like, oh, this is a beautiful thing. Let me capture it, or let me emulate it, whether it's in a song or what, that's why we make metaphors and analogies, because it reflects some of the beauty that we encounter in our day-to-day life. Like that's, and so when you try and force that into, oh, this is a platform for my Christian beliefs, it's no longer art to me. To me, that's propaganda. That is using your art to spread forth a message. And there's nothing wrong with that inherently. Like that, the idea of that is not in and of itself wrong, but it cheapens your art. Your art should stand on its own as art. It shouldn't be magnified as, oh, it wasn't a great song, but it was Christian, so at least it's that. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't a great movie, but it was Christian, so at least it's that. No, it should be good art, and it should just be the cherry on top, or maybe a reason that you connect to that artist, the fact that they're Christian. You know what I mean?
I see.
So yeah, so I've always made art. I think putting God into my art happened 7 or 8 years ago now. So that's a long way. I kind of dodged your question at first, but the question was, when did I start? So I guess 8 years ago.
Okay. No, I get your point. I think it's good to clarify because, as you said, there's like a controversy, and people are just when you introduce yourself and you say that you're a Christian immediately, and then when you're saying you're a musician, most people will just think, oh, he's a Christian musician. But then you have to clarify that no, I don't consider myself just a Christian musician. I consider myself as an artist, and I do just everything that you said there to clarify for someone else. I think it's very important, and just to express also how you feel that being labeled as a Christian artist, it's kind of just puts you in a box. You feel limited somehow. I think that's really important.
Yeah, that's it. It's a big part of it, and it's also just the society that we live in right now, right, where everyone wants to put you in a box. You know, they want to get your opinion on one political view so they can put you in the left camp or in the right camp or whatever. We've lost the skill of nuance, right? And we don't think for ourselves. We just repeat what we've heard. And I think we've become comfortable in boxes because then that I'm part of this tribe, you know. And so there is a comfort level in that. There's a comfort of being like, oh, I'm a Christian artist because now I'm part of this Christian artist group. But for me personally, I would rather people get to know me as an artist and as a person than, oh, he's just part of that group, and therefore I can put on his song and know what to expect because it's like every other Christian song. No, don't put me in that box. And I hope not to have, I like to defy expectations. So for better or worse sometimes.
Well, what I really love about your answer is that it expresses how most youth feel today. Nowadays, people, like you said, we are putting everyone in a category, and that really limits just even the diversity in humanity. I love diversity, and when we just categorize each other, we kind of build walls against each other.
Everybody gonna wanna sing so loud when this thing goes out, cause it's Christmas time, every single mouth gonna praise the king, gonna trade away the chains we bring. I've been feeling so ashamed, amazed, the grace he brings. Got tripped up, got flipped off, flipped on a trip, but system is ready to roll, the levees are broke, he's turning my soul. Everybody, yo,
everybody dance and spin.